One of the first things you have to learn is to be familiar with the command line. If you studied informatics, this may be obvious to you, but if you come from another background, you're probably just used to the graphical user interface. The command line is a way for you to communicate directly with the computer and have the power to tell it what to do. In this video, I will cover navigation, manipulation of files, and some keyboard tricks. So let's open up a terminal. Right now I'm in my home directory. By writing pwd, you can find exactly in which part of your computer file system you are currently on. With the command ls, I can figure out which files are contained here. As you can see, most of them are folders and there's one file. For some commands you can add options. For example, by adding -l to ls, you can obtain the same list but with the size of the files and the last date of modification. Now let's move to a directory. We can do this with cd. We go cd data, and if you see, I'm in a new folder, data, and we have here three files, file 0, 2, 3, and a folder images. We can go back by using 2 points, cd 2 points. It's a relative position for the father directory. There's also 1 point, and it means this directory. So here I stay in this directory. Nothing happens. Actually, this is a shortcut, the dot. For example, cd data is the same as cd dot, this directory, go to the folder data. To go back to your home directory, no matter where you are, you simply type cd. Now let's move on to learn how to manipulate files. Let's go back to data and let's create a directory. We can create a directory with make dir. And we call it examples. We can move files with mv. We move file 0 to the folder examples. Now, file 0 is in examples. If we go to examples, there it is. To change the name of a file, you can also use mv. Now we call it file 1. And we want it back in the main folder. If we want them in both folders, we don't move them, but we copy them with cp. I copy file 1 to the father directory. This means file 1 is now here and also in the father directory. This is a lot of work, right? It is quite painful when comparing to the Windows interface. But wait just a second and behold the power of the command line. If I go to directory images, you'll see that we have different files, some images JPG, some files PNG. What if we want to copy all files to a new directory? For example, if I make a directory called PNG images, and don't forget, always use underscore, never use spaces when being in the command line, and we can move all the files that end in PNG, we can move them to PNG images. Now we only have the other images, and when we move to the folder, here are all the files, all the images PNG. The asterisk is a wildcard. Wildcards are very powerful, and there are many of them, which I recommend you to learn. In case of this, the asterisk means match all the files that start like this and continue with .png. Are you convinced now? Let's learn a last thing, and that is to remove a file. So what if I want to remove fish.png? We can do it with rm fish.png. And we only have now cat and dog. Let's go back to the father directory and let's now remove the whole folder. To remove it, we need to add an option -r, which is recursive, and we can remove the folder. But be careful, because when you remove an object, it will be forever lost. So be extra careful when combining remove with wildcards. Now let's look at some handy keyboard tricks when working with the terminal. One of them is using tab. For example, when I want to go back and here I want to go into examples, I can start writing examples and then use tab. I will use tab and it auto-completes for me. The same way I can go, for example, to images. Autocomplete now with the tab and then enter. It is possible to find previous comments by using the up arrow. Here we can see the previous comments I've used. If you're lazy or you want to recover a command that you used a long time ago, you can use Ctrl+R and do a reverse search of something that you've used before. For example, remove, and I get the first remove. If I do Ctrl+R again, I get all the commands that included the letters R and M. This is just the beginning in your quest to master the command line and hopefully fall in love with it. Check out the next videos about the command line and learn more about it.